Hey guys, I hope everyone is doing well. Today we're going to take a look at a very popular entry-level single-stroke pneumatic air pistol. The Beeman P17 has been a staple in the airgun community for years and years now due to its low cost, but good accuracy and fantastic trigger. It's a pretty simple design that mimics the look of many modern handguns, with design elements from both the Desert Eagle and Hi-Point C9 being immediately evident. The build quality feels sturdy, and the gun has a nice weight to it. Despite being made primarily of polymer, I have never felt like it might break, which is impressive considering the amount of leverage it takes to close the gun after you open it. Overall, the gun is comfortable to hold and is well balanced, even though it looks a little large at first glance. The P17 has a dovetail rail down the top, but it is plastic, and I deformed mine slightly putting optics on it too tightly, so just be aware of that if you're going to use an optic. It does come with some pretty usable open sights, which is how I usually shoot it. There are fiber optics front and rear, with the rear sight being adjustable for both windage and elevation. I love the trigger on this pistol. It's short and crisp and predictable with no player sloppiness. I definitely haven't felt a trigger this refined on any other gun in this price range. It even somehow manages to eclipse triggers on many airguns and firearms in the $800, $900, or $1,000 price range. The safety is conveniently located on the left-hand side of the gun, just above and slightly forward of the trigger, and it's automatically engaged when you cock the gun. Cocking is done by first cracking open the top portion of the gun by pulling back on a release on the back of the gun that is made to resemble a hammer on a firearm pistol. Once cracked open, you fold the top portion all the way forward, engaging the safety and filling the piston with air. You can then load a pellet into the breech. It's a little tight, I have pretty average hands, and even then I find some pellets tricky to load, but with a little practice it isn't a deal breaker or anything like that. Closing the gun requires a little effort, but it isn't overly difficult, despite what my face looks like when I do it. That being said, children or anyone with functional issues in their hands or arms may have a hard time with this gun, and putting a scope or a red dot on it makes things a little more difficult, so keep that in mind. The shot cycle is smooth with no recoil and a quiet report. It is a lovely gun to shoot, whether you're taking your target shooting seriously or just plinking in the backyard. It's a great little gun. It shoots around 400 feet per second, which isn't much, but it's plenty for 10-meter shooting. So, let's get to shooting. For these groups, I'm going to be shooting at 10 meters, through a scope, and rested, just to give the gun a fair chance. My offhand pistol skills are easily some of my worst skills. The target footage will be sped up 10 times to save time. For our first group, we have my favorite 177 cal pellet, the 9.57 grain Barracuda FT from H&N, and unfortunately I was expecting better. Obviously the gun just doesn't really like these, and the group is sorta all over the place. It happens. For our second group, we're shooting 10.65 grain Barracuda match, and since these are realistically pretty heavy for such a low-powered gun, I was expecting worse results, but they actually grouped pretty well. The footage from downrange was corrupted, so unfortunately we don't have any of that. Our third group is with 8.64 grain field target trophy pellets. And besides the first shot flyer that was my fault, they grouped very well, and I'm pretty happy with those last 4 shots. Our fourth and final group is with 8.44 grain Barracuda 8 pellets from H&N, and it's fantastic. At least it is for me, and I think it's safe to say that a more experienced pistol shooter could get a tighter group with the P17 and Barracuda 8 pellets. And yes, I know I'm way off the bullseye in these groups. I plan on putting this particular optic back on the gun that it came off of, and I didn't want to have to zero it twice. Let's just try and focus on the groups. So, final thoughts about the Beeman P17. It's a really good gun considering how cheap it is. Are there better guns out there? Absolutely. But I don't think that there are any better guns out there at the same price point. And as far as accuracy and trigger are concerned, the P17 easily holds its own against much more expensive guns. Full disclosure, I bought this gun myself for my own collection, and the pellets in the video were provided by my friends over at H&N, so please be sure to go check them out. Feel free to like this video or subscribe to the channel if that's the sort of thing you're into. Thanks for watching and have a great day.